800 million, over 80 crore. That's how many cups of tea the world drinks every single day. I mean, think about that scale for a second. It's absolutely massive. Morning, noon, or night, somewhere out there, humanity is boiling water and steeping tea leaves. But this staggering daily habit doesn't just come out of nowhere, right? It has these incredibly deep roots tying back to legendary landscapes and ancient traditions. Today, we're going to explore exactly where phenomena like this come from, unpacking the fascinating stories hiding behind the stuff we consume every single day. Okay, let's dive right in. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to completely dismantle this idea that a country as vast as India is just one monolithic culture. Because, spoiler alert, it's not. Instead, we're looking at glimpses of a cultural mosaic. We're going to see how deeply distinct histories, traditions, and people can coexist within one single nation. And honestly, it completely redefines what it means to look at Indian culture. Section 1. The Indian Cultural Mosaic.
To truly wrap our heads around this mosaic, we're taking a tour across 3 very distinct microcultures, and I want you to notice the stark contrasts as we go. On the coast, you've got this relaxed vibe with warm bread furnaces. Head up into the hills, and there's a total shift to martial elegance surrounded by lush coffee landscapes. Then, swing over to the east, and you're suddenly in vast green tea plantations steeped in ancient mythology. It's a gorgeous tapestry of totally different economies, landscapes, and even daily clothing that make up these incredibly unique pockets of culture.
Section 2. Goa. Tradition in baking. Okay, picture this. You're walking through a Goan village super early in the morning. The air is just thick with the smell of fresh bread baking in these traditional wood-fired ovens. It's a sensory experience that goes back centuries, and it is entirely unique to this specific pocket of the country. At the heart of all this are the potters. These are the traditional Goan bakers, and what's super fascinating here is that they are actively preserving a distinct Portuguese bread-making tradition introduced centuries ago. So they aren't just making your morning toast, they're literally the economic and cultural core of their communities. The potter, walking around with his bamboo staff in traditional dress, is this daily walking testament to a deeply embedded colonial history that has been totally localized and embraced. So, the really crucial point here is just how deeply embedded this bread is in the community. I mean, it is absolutely essential. A local marriage or festival in Goa literally isn't complete without the specific breads crafted by the paters. And it all centers around their ultimate cultural symbol, the village furnace. It's not just an oven. It's the gathering place. It's a symbol of warmth and the literal beating heart of Goan village life that keeps these century-old traditions alive and kicking.
Section 3. Coorg. Valor and Nature.
Now, we are pivoting sharply from the breezy coast to the misty southern hills, and comparing these regions reveals some profound contrasts. Down in Goa, the traditional dress is the kabai. It's this long frock that's absolutely perfect for the warm coast and working in a bakery. But up in Coorg, it's the kupia. This is a structured black coat with a distinct waist belt, reflecting a much more martial military heritage. Goa runs on baking, Coorg runs on vast coffee plantations. And perhaps most tellingly, while Goa's cultural symbol is that nurturing village furnace, Coorg's symbol is the Coorg Regiment of the Army, highlighting this incredibly proud history of military service. And that brings us to the people of Coorg themselves, known as the Kodavus. They are this fiercely independent community with a truly fascinating lineage. Historical lore actually suggests they might be of Greek or Arab descent, which adds this amazing layer of mystery to their presence in the hills of South India. Now, they are universally famous for 2 things that might seem like total opposites: incredible welcoming hospitality and absolute, unwavering bravery. Their entire identity is intrinsically linked to valor, which is exactly why the Coorg Regiment is such a massive cultural pillar for them. But Coorg isn't just about coffee and combat. Its rich landscape is fed by the majestic Kaveri River, which is home to the famous mahasir fish. And, oh, get this, in a fascinating twist of cultural coexistence, nestled right in the middle of this martial coffee-growing region is India's largest Tibetan settlement at Balakupe. It just perfectly illustrates how even within one single microculture, you find these astonishing layers of diversity and peaceful coexistence. It's like a mosaic within a mosaic. Section 4. Assam, Legends of Tea. All right, let's pack our bags one last time and head far northeast. Stepping into a world governed by ancient Buddhist legends and massive global tea economies, we finally return to that staggering number we started with. And like any Greek cultural staple, tea comes with a fantastic origin myth. I have to share the legend of Bodhidharma. It's fascinating and honestly slightly bizarre. He was an ancient Buddhist ascetic who, as the story goes, actually cut off his own eyelids to stop himself from falling asleep during deep meditation. And where those eyelids fell to the earth, they allegedly grew into the world's very first tea plants. It's a brilliant, somewhat wild story that perfectly contrasts ancient mystical mythology with the massive, highly industrialized scale of tea consumption today. When you trace the actual factual journey of tea, it's a massive historical timeline. It kicks off way back in 2700 BC when it was first drunk in China. In fact, the everyday words chai and chini are directly derived from Chinese. Fast forward to the harvest process in India, specifically that sweet spot between May and July. This is the second sprouting season, which yields the absolute finest tea. And that brings us right to the present day, where Assam proudly holds the title for the world's largest concentration of tea plantations, basically single-handedly feeding that 800 million cup daily habit we talked about earlier.
Section 5. Tasting the cultural blend.
So as we zoom out from our journey across Goa, Coorg, and Assam, we see how these wildly disparate threads all weave together. You've got the warm, communal bread of the coastal West, the bold coffee and martial history of the Southern Hills, and the ancient, legendary tea estates of the Northeast. None of these regions represent the whole country on their own, but together, they form this brilliant, complex cultural mosaic. It really goes to show why understanding the origins of our food and drink matters so much. So the next time you take a sip of your morning tea, enjoy a strong cup of coffee, or break a piece of fresh bread, ask yourself, what ancient global history is hiding right there inside your daily ritual? Thanks so much for joining me on